Comparisons are how we compare one variable to an answer or another variable to another value or a variable to another variable. And this is one of the key fundamentals of any computer language, and that's the ability to compare variables. Now we do this using comparison operators. We can compare whether or not two or more variables are the same, not the same, greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to. Now you might need to refer to this a few times before you kind of memorize what they all do, and that's definitely okay. So let's go over this. In our first column are the operators. Second column is an explanation of what it does. Third column is our variable that we're going to set, and that variable is going to be used in our example. In every scenario, our variable v is equal to 10. So we have our first operator, that's the equal sign, and that means it's equal to. Remember, a variable uses one equal sign. An operator uses two equal signs. So if we had variable v, which is equal to 10, it would look like this. If we compared v equals 10, it would return true because v is in fact 10. If we went v equals 9, then it would return false. And it would return false because v is equal to 10, not 9. Next we have is not equal to. Exclamation mark equal sign is the is not equal to operator. If variable v is equal to 10, and we compared variable v against the number 10, that would return false. That's because v is equal to 10, so if we say v is not equal to 10, well, that's wrong. If it's wrong, it's false. If we said v is not equal to 9, well, that's true, because v is not equal to 9. V is equal to 10. So that statement is right, or true. Next we have greater than. V is equal to 10. Is v greater than 5? Well, yes it is, so that's true. Is v, which is number 10, less than 5? No, it's not, so it's false. Greater than or equal to, which means if v, which is 10, is greater than or equal to number 10, then it will return true. If we went v is greater than 10, that would be false because it's not greater than 10. This is like saying 10 is greater than 10. That's not true. 10 is equal to 10. It's not greater, it's not less, it is the exact same. In the next example, is v greater than or equal to 15? Well, v is equal to 10. 10 is not greater than 15. 10 is not equal to 15. Both of them are wrong, and this has got to be false. Then we have our less than sign. If v is less than 20, well, then it's going to return true. If v is less than 5, well, it's going to return false because, well, 10 is greater than 5. 10 is not less than 5. And lastly, we have less than or equal to. So variable v, which is equal to 10, is less than or equal to 10. Well, that's true. It's not less than, that would be false, but it is equal to 10, and that's true. If we went with 11, then that would be false. And if we changed our variable to 9, well, that would be true, because 9 is in fact less than 10. 10 is not less than 10, but 10 is equal to 10. So just pretend in here that there's the word or. And for the last example, v is less than or equal to 5. Well, that's false. And again, that's because 10 is not less than 5, 10 is not equal to 5. And when we say the word not, that means wrong, and wrong means false. So remember, not is equal to false. So to actually use this, we typically put these inside an if-else statement. We've been hinting at these a lot, and I promise they're coming really soon. But before we go on, here's an example of a true statement when compared using an if statement. And for the next of this class, we're going to hint at what an if statement is and kind of prepare for it. Variable, number is equal to 20, and that's an integer. So if number is equal to 20, then it's going to alert us number is equal to 20. If you want to throw that in a web page and execute it, it will alert you with number is equal to 20. Now, if we went number is not equal to 20, then nothing will alert us. This will not execute. If we said if number is greater than or equal to 20, then it would execute. Well, because number is equal to 20, but it's not greater than 20, it's still going to execute. Remember, greater than or equal to 20. In every operator, and all these operators that we covered right now only have 2 characters. So once you think you kind of got that down a little bit, you think you kind of have the general idea of how those work, we're going to move on to logical operators. If you need to, rewind this, go back and learn the comparison operators. I'm not going to recommend, I'm going to say you absolutely need to know how to use those. So moving on to logical operators, we have and, or, and not. Those are logical operators, and they're for comparing multiple answers or asking if something is not true. First, we'll cover the exclamation mark. You might notice that exclamation mark is the word not. Also, false or wrong are 2 different ways of thinking about it, and that might help you out a little bit with understanding how this works. And you might have noticed that we have the not operator in front of an equal sign. Remember, not equal is not equal to. Now that's very similar to the equals equals, which is just equal to, but it starts with a not, or an exclamation mark. Remember, I'm going to say this again, the exclamation mark, which is not, means false or not true. Whichever is easiest for you to remember, that's the way you should just stick with. Here's an example to help you understand how we would use this. So if we went variable, breathing is equal to 0, 0 means false, 1 means true. Just like with electricity, 0 means off, 1 means on. So if we said, if variable breathing is not, well, what that really means is variable breathing false? Well, if it is false, which is 0, so it is actually false, we're going to alert not breathing. Let's demo this. Not breathing. What we asked by using the exclamation mark, the not sign, was, is our breathing variable false or equal to 0? Yes, our breathing variable is false. It is equal to 0. If we remove the not sign and just ask if breathing, then our answer is reverse. We'll cover this more in the if and else statements. Now just remember, exclamation mark means false. Exclamation mark means not. Exclamation mark means false. Exclamation mark means wrong. Next we have the double ampersands. An ampersand means and just by itself. 2 of them together mean you're adding 2 comparison operators. If you want to compare more than 2 variables, where all comparisons have to be true, we use the and operator. Or, as you just say it, the and operator. With and, all comparisons have to be true for the if statement to execute. Here's how to use the and operator in an if statement. We have variable age is equal to 18, variable name, which is a string, is equal to Sam. If age is greater than or equal to 18, which it is, remember, it looks like that. 18 is greater than or equal to. And name is equal to Sam. Well, we have name is equal to Sam, name, double equal sign is equal to Sam. This is going to return true because age is 18 or greater, and name is Sam. So because both of these are correct, that's a true statement, it's going to execute our code. So we just wrote, document write, Sam is 18 or older. So this, you just have to remember that the 2 and signs mean and. And that's how we use them. Just like that. And lastly, we have the or, which are 2 parallel lines. Often you can find this line by hitting shift, and the key is quite often near the enter key, just to the left of it. So it's not 2 L's, it's not 2 capital I's, it's not 2 number 1's, it's 2 parallel lines. And that means or. Now we'd use this if we were looking for at least 1 true comparison. So again, we have age is equal to 18, name is equal to Sam. If age is equal to 18, well that is 18, or name is equal to Sam, then it's going to execute our code. Well, age is in fact 18, so that's true, and name is equal to Sam. That's also true. Now what if we changed age is equal to 19, and down here in our if statement, we kept age is equal to 18. That's going to be false because, well, what we're looking at here is 19 is equal to 18. That makes no sense. That's wrong. So that means it's false. So just ignore this because it's false. It's going to look for only true statements. That's obviously not true if it's false. Now it's going to look for name. If name is equal to Sam, well, name is equal to Sam, then it's going to execute our code. And just remember, two parallel lines means or. And that's how we use them up there. So two and signs means everything has to be true. Or signs means one or the other has to be true. Now really the only practice you can get from this class is by copying some of my code over. I'd suggest just going over to the if and else class, and we're going to cover exactly how to write an if and else statement. And that's where you can actually start using these. But before we could cover those, you had to know how to use the operators.